even when I'm down. Got my head in the clouds and my feet on the ground. I got big dreams, gonna make them true. Yeah, we got big dreams here at the GeniusLab. We want to make your dreams come true, and today we are talking about impact and inspiration. This is a fun series. I'm going to be doing this for the next couple of months, and you know, it's about getting clear about how we impact people in the world and what kind of an impact do we want to make on the world, coming at our lives with consciousness and intention. Okay. And so it's kind of exciting. Today, I want to talk to you about something that is impacting our world right now. This is August of 2020 and COVID. Okay. I don't know how long this is going to be a familiar word. Hopefully not very long. I hope things shift big time. But this has had a huge impact, and it has inspired a tremendous amount of post-traumatic stress. And so I want to talk a little bit about that today because there is a solution. There is some help that is phenomenal for those of you who are troubled with nightmares and fear and jumpiness and irritability and all of those things that are signs of post-traumatic stress. So first of all, when people talk about it, they talk about all the conspiracy stuff. Well, it's not really a real thing, and I don't really know anyone who's died of it, and blah, blah, blah. There's all this stuff going on. But the bottom line is there is a freaking ton of fear underlying the world right now. I'm not talking about just the United States or just the politics. I'm talking about the entire freaking globe. And so this is a big deal, and there's a lot of energy on it. And the thing is, if we succumb to the fear and if we succumb to the presumptions, we're going to get nowhere quick. So let's look at the path of and the impact that COVID has had. At first, last December, it was like, oh, there's this thing in China and, we have to be careful. It may have been, all the rumors started to come out of it was chemically engineered in a bioweapon from the United States that China sold. And I mean, there were so many freaking stories. It was nuts. But the bottom line is we didn't really see it here, but we heard about it. So there was a little bit of fear and a lot of rumor. Okay. Then there was uncertainty. Okay. First cases started coming into the United States and we're like, well, maybe this thing is real. But, we had the avian flu and we had the swine flu and, we had these other kind of viral intrusions, and they kind of came and went and didn't really affect us all that much, except for particular areas that were hit. Well, then all of a sudden we have an alert because now we've got thousands and then 10,000s and now over 1 million cases. And, all of a sudden the whole damn world is falling apart, right? And especially us here in the United States, because we don't get affected by anything, right? We're privileged. We're the chosen ones. So sometimes I think we are. But anyway, that goes beyond anything that I'm interested in talking about right now. But the bottom line is, here it is on our home soil. It was interesting that in 9/11, when that occurred, we had an attack on our home soil. And we're not used to that. I have friends from Lebanon that grew up with that. Like every day there were enemy fighters flying over, dropping bombs and killing people. And it was a way of life. We don't know about that here. We're very, very fortunate. So anyway, so then we have alert. Okay, so we start to panic. Then we have shutdown. Oh my God, my phone's going completely fucking crazy. Okay, here we go. Anyway, sorry. I love doing these things live because stupid things like that happen, because that's what happens in real life. Our phone goes off right in the middle of while we're doing something. Let's get back on it. Okay, so then we have alert and everybody panics. This shit is real. There's a lot of it going on. What the hell do we do? And then we have the shutdown. We got to shut everything down. We got to isolate. We got to shelter in place. All of a sudden, we're in a national emergency. Okay? So as if that's not scary enough, all the politicians are fighting. Our leaders, who are supposedly, showing us the way, are fighting like a bunch of schoolyard boys
not making any sense about anything and not leading, just pointing fingers at each other and spewing out a bunch of bullshit. So then we have a problem. Okay, we have people getting sick. We have people worried about getting sick. We have this invisible enemy, so to speak. And so what we see happen is frontliners, doctors, nurses, ER assistants, hospital, any attendee at or attendant at a hospital, first responders. Now all of a sudden they're starting to show signs of post-traumatic stress. Okay, there's this impending doom. There's constant fear. There's nightmares. There's uncertainty. There's insomnia. There's just random pissed offness. Okay, you won't find that in a medical journal. That's my own diagnosis. But so that's what we had problem, and then everybody went on a freaking panic spree, and there was no toilet paper. I still can never figure out that. Like, people were buying up massive amounts of toilet paper. So then we have rationing. Okay, you can only buy 2 boxes of this or 5 boxes of that or whatever. So we have all of these first responders, hospital people showing signs of post-traumatic stress. So they're like tweaked beyond their usual, because let's face it, those are pressure jobs anyway, right? So then we're sheltered in place. We're making sure we have enough food. We're making sure we have enough supplies. So we're living in a constant state of fear, and we have this invisible enemy, dun, 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 which is true. I mean, we can't see a virus, but we got to be really careful. And then we have different safety mechanisms that are being promoted that are then being depromoted, right? Okay, wear a mask. Don't wear a mask. Herd meant oh shit, I can't remember. Stay all together, and then we'll build up immunity and herd immunity. Yeah, there we go. And everything's cool. So much unknown, so much fear, so much anticipation and pressure, right? So what happens now is, things start to open up. And then we have people displaying post-traumatic stress, just ordinary Joes that were sitting in their house, trapped. All of a sudden now there's this impending scare. And then we've got kids going back to school. What are we going to do there? And what we end up with right now is we have got people who have never been in any kind of or who have never been trained to be in any kind of a critical situation, where they're making life and death decisions, like, do I go out to the store? Do I let my kid go to school? Do I finish my college? All the things that we have to consider with this underlying threat of death. I mean, this is no small thing. This is a big deal. So all of a sudden, we've got people that are just absolutely raging. We have people who have totally gone into massive conspiracy mode. This is all a big fake thing to give Bill Gates the rights to make the vaccines that are going to mutate. And I mean, on and on and on. There's thousands of them out there. Maybe they're true, maybe they're not. I have no idea. There's actually like zero evidence, empirical data about any of it that I've ever seen. I just have a bunch of talking heads, And then you have the people that don't want to wear masks because it's infringing their rights. And I have a right not to wear a mask. And if following orders about wearing masks is compliance to a authoritarian government, right? Because we shouldn't have to follow any rules. Well, do you drive on the left side of the street? Because that's a rule you follow. You stay on the right side of the road. Guess why? So you don't fucking get a head-on collision with someone and die or kill someone. Some rules are good to follow, and compliance is socially helpful and it's a humanitarian act to not go out and kill people. Okay, so I'm not really sure about those people. It's masks, no masks. I've heard some good. I'm a better safe than sorry guy, and if I'm a slave or some kind of overruled by some authoritarian government, I'm happy. So, just I'll follow the rules until I feel like not doing it. But at this point, what lines are being drawn. It's like, if you wear a mask, then you've given in to the da-da-da, which is scary. And I have friends that are like that, like people that I care for and respect. It's just like, okay, I don't want to get in a fight over this, But I think that the important thing is to realize that the underlying energy that's amplifying everything and knocking it completely out of the park is that we are suffering. The average person is suffering from post-traumatic stress. This is a big deal. It's a very misunderstood condition. Okay, and from a veteran or from a VA doctor to my ears, you cannot cure post-traumatic stress. It can only be treated with medicine and counseling. Okay. All right. Well, fortunes are made off of the medication that they use, and I see people who are on it not doing very well, and I see people who've been in therapy for 10, 12, 15 years and aren't any better either. So I'm not sure that I agree with him. What I do know that is in my own life, I have experienced a process called tactical resilience process. And it's simple visualization in a very, very specific way that helps reprogram the subconscious mind on how it processes the information from a memory. Okay? When you picture something like, I'm going to die of COVID, and you freak out, your nervous system is programmed when you hear COVID to freak out, right? You've trained it that way. That's how you've reacted. Okay? I certainly have. What this process does, what tactical resilience process does, is it reprograms the way that your mind processes the information that is provided to your mind by an image or by a memory. Okay. Now, I was raised in a very hostile environment when I was a kid, and I had a lot of post-traumatic stress from, being beaten up by my mom and stuff like that. Well, what's so cool is I went through this tactical resilience process, and it was unbelievable how I could barely talk about certain things that happened to me as a child without getting very, very emotional. And after the process, I could talk about it like I was talking about someone else. It was so freeing and so invigorating and so like, oh my God, I didn't even know how uptight I was about certain things or how much in avoidance I was about certain things until they were gone. And then the practitioner asked me, so tell me about that incident that you had with your mom that you started at the beginning and you couldn't talk about because you started getting emotional. I'm like, oh, well, this is what happened, blah, 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 blah. And I went through it and I'm like, oh my God, I'm free. For the first time in a very, 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 very long time, I'm free from the fear and the panic and the craziness of an incident that was horrifically traumatic. If you've got things that are stirring you up when you think about it, or in the middle of the night when you wake up in a panic, or wake up and just go, I can't turn my mind off, and you want to get it undone, get in touch with me, Toby at tobychristensen.com. If you want to know more information about the process, go to tobychristensen.com/remove. Because the beautiful thing about tactical resilience process is it is a way to remove the trauma without the drama. Okay? Get that? Remove the trauma without the drama. You do not have to relive. It is content free. You do not have to relive an episode. You do not have to get emotionally charged up. You simply follow a very specific process. The success rate is off the charts. And big thanks to Dan Jarvis and 220 for allowing me to get my certification in this wonderful, wonderful process. And, we're all about living our greatness here, right? We're about remembering our greatness. That's what the GeniusLab is all about. And when you are all messed up with post-traumatic stress, it's really hard to see your greatness. But when you go through this process and you remove the trauma without the drama, it's very easy to connect to your greatness. That's it for today. We'll see you. Have a great day.